Alright, how's it going? So we got, let's see. Say hello, Shuck. I'm a gold 4 player, currently showing with Dynamic ganks, when to push/freeze your wave, how to punish your enemy in lane, and jungle training, etc. But basically anything you find that I need help with would be fine. Thank you. Also, I'm a new Victor Bear. Maybe played like 20 games based on your guide. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let me just... Okay, so what I've done in the other videos, I don't know if you've seen them, is I just get a notepad, and at the end, I've actually done a few Victor VODs now. Victor versus Vex this game. And at the end, I'll just like write up a bunch of notes, and also new technology. Might use the Epic Pen this time because I've been peer pressured. So let's see how it goes. So starting off, you were versus Vex, right? Yep. So against Vex, yeah, I think your setup all looks good. I think, yeah, no, like I was gonna say, you could be a bit greedier and take Doran's ring, but I think like Vex actually has pretty good all-in potential. So staying high HP is pretty nice. Now I'll tell you something straight away. So one thing you can do, in lanes where you win level 1, and you want to push, and so like this is one of those lanes where you're stronger level 1 and you want to push, you don't have to wait for the waves to meet. So you see how your first auto attack comes, and the creeps are just like hitting each other here. You can position, like you can be halfway up the wave already, and you can probably auto, like, okay, let's say you start autoing the creep now, you can probably get like 3, oh wait. Did I use the pen? Okay. So when the wave is like right here, you can start ordering the wave when it's right here. You can get like 3 auto attacks on it as it comes in. And that's going to guarantee get you prior. How do I erase it, by the way? I like that. Okay. And then, okay, yeah. So you could have started ordering this. This could be like half health, and that's going to guarantee you get prior because it's like now you're just matching autos, which means like it's going to be harder. Also, I think you can probably be a bit more aggressive with your Q here. I think like it's pretty hard to dodge Vex E, but I think like you would win as long as you hit her with Q first. The problem is here you actually take a lot of damage and your shield doesn't do anything. And if you have Airy and Scorch especially, you want to be using your Q on cooldown, just to like proc those over and over. That was good. Yeah, so like right now, you're just playing too safe. So anytime your Q is up, you want to be looking to Q her when she goes for a creep. So like right now is fine, you don't have your Q. Like right here, like, okay, this creep, you have Q, you have Airy, you have Scorch. When she goes for this creep, is like the ideal time to trade, so I would probably position like here maybe, and look to Q her, but instead she gets that for free. You get another opportunity to go for it when she goes for this creep, but you don't take that one either. So basically right now you just need to be using your Q a lot more, and you're giving it too much breathing room. So in lanes like this, you know that you can even accept trades that are even, right? Because you have 3 corrupting pots and you have TP, so you have like 2 giant health bars, and she has ignite. So as long as you don't die, as long as you don't get all end, you'll be really far ahead. But right now, you're just taking harass for free, and you're not even trading anything back. So I mean, this is okay. At least you got the shield, but it's not great. And also because like you were too passive, you don't really have a good wave here. So again, you could be looking right now to go for Qs. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure that Vex's E is longer cooldown than your Q. I can't remember how long it is exactly, but I'm thinking about 13 seconds. So I think like there's another window here where you have Q and she doesn't have anything. Like you could walk towards her here and Q her. So yeah, right now, your laning phase, definitely not super good. I'm actually just gonna, something I need to do, I'm just gonna write like laning, I'm just gonna write that on there because I always end up getting to the end of the video and then I forget like what I talked about in the early game, but I'll just write a little note for myself. So what did you do with this E? So yeah, this E is pretty bad as well. Like you are so in control that there's no reason for you to be spending mana on like creeps and stuff. You should just be looking to harass her. So like here, I don't know if you're actually aiming at her here, but there's like no chance this ever hits her. And it's like okay, yeah, you're just like using all your spells in the wave for no reason. Especially when you're like playing lane bully champs, you almost never want to use creeps to CS until like you have like your Victor upgrade or something. So you could be harassing her a lot more. It's actually kind of crazy because like right now you're playing a winning lane and she's trading better than you. Like she's out trading you. Now this ward, pretty useless, I would say. I didn't check what the jungler is. I'm actually just going to go back and have a look. So it was 139. Okay, so the jungler is Vi, so you can get ganked. You definitely can get ganked. So when you ward here, 230, okay, it is a good time to ward, but like you don't need to get to this wave instantly. I think it's worth spending just like a couple more seconds to ward further out. You don't even have to ward all the way in the bush if you want to be greedy. But like right here, if Vi wraps around, you die. So this ward doesn't protect you from that. And you have a farming jungler, so it's like you can't really rely on your jungler to protect you either. Another bad E, you kind of got lucky here. So this should be, your E is up, she's going for the creep. Should be an ideal time to hit her, but your E is too shallow. Like, you know your E is like way longer range than this. You're actually just like really lucky that she walked back into it, but obviously that didn't need to happen. Now another thing, at level 3 as Viktor, unless you verse something that's gonna like all in you, or not all in you even, just like something that's gonna come into your like melee range, it's better to put 2 points in E, because once you get 2 points in E, it becomes way more mana efficient. And then you can put a point in W at level 4. But because you have a point in W now, your E is just not going to really do enough damage, and you're not going to be able to push her out of the lane. So another pretty poor E, I would say. You're just like using spells on CS that you don't really need. Now, this, I actually think, I'm not 100% sure because she might have queued over the wall. But it's possible that Vi walked through here, in which case, like, your ward would have spotted this. So I don't know where Vi came from here, because, like, I can't see, but maybe your ward would have spotted that. You were hugging to the correct size, so that's good, which is going to allow you to respond first. This goes awfully. I think, to be honest, I'm pretty sure if you had E, like 2 points in E rather than what you have, you actually would have killed this guy. CQ, E, E, R. Well, I think she would have died a bit quicker. Like, your W did nothing. Maybe you still die. Overall, it's kind of just like a fuck situation for you because the thing is that, well, one, you didn't know this Vi was coming in here, and I think that was probably because of the ward, although she might have queued over. So I don't know for sure. But also, it's like, Viktor's strength, right, is in the isolated 1v1, not in like skirmishing and stuff. So if Vex can come to a skirmish, like even HP, with you, she's gonna like be way more useful, right? So the reason this shouldn't happen is because you should be so far ahead of Vex in terms of priority and HP that she shouldn't be able to contest this. But the problem is that if you don't leverage your lead in the early game, like any 2v2 fight like this, Vex is way stronger than you. So this should be really bad for you because champions like Vex that need to all in you, if they don't get to that point where they can 100 to 0 you, they just like lose all lane phase, right? But now the problem is that she has gotten 2 kills and you've... Oh, you didn't usually flash actually. I thought you usually flash. But she's got 2 kills, so at level 6 it's going to be very hard for you to live, or it should be anyway. Because she's going to have like... She's going to be so accelerated and have such high burst. Here, I actually don't even like this, so I'll tell you why. The main reason is, like, you can't stop Vex from crashing this wave, and you know that she's going to base because she has tons of gold. So any harass that you put on her now, it's not going to do anything. So you can Q her just to proc your mana flow, but right now you're using, like, you've used half your mana to chunk her out, and she can just base. Like, she doesn't need to fight you or anything. And actually, it wasn't even that good a trade, because you're trading into so many creep. This is like super not worth it. You're just like investing like over and over, investing way too much mana into like using spells on creeps. This came up in another coaching session, but I really want it to be a habit that you build, that you don't use spells on creeps for the most part. When you're like a really strong lane bully like Viktor, you need to harass way more. Now this is a slight mistake I would say. So here, your vision is bot side and your jungler is bot side, so you should probably be hugging towards him. Also, that way, if there's a fight that breaks out bot side, you can be close to him. But instead, you're kind of hugging the wrong side. I think if Vex had moved a little earlier there, maybe he would have died. Not 100% sure, though. Yeah, so the problem is that you've used all your mana for creeps. You're actually lucky that Vex didn't base, I would say. That's fine. You're kind of on the defensive. Good E. Like, this is good, but it's just like too little too late, because now you don't have the mana to actually push her out of the lane. Yeah, I mean, this is good. Like, these are high value E's, right? Like, if you can ever E, hit the wave and hit her, it's very valuable, but most of the time you've just been hitting the wave. Now, like, you can see because she messed up her base and doesn't have sustain, if you had been using your spells on her the whole time, she would be probably almost dead by now. But the problem is that you've wasted so much mana on things that weren't Vex that you can't quite kill her here. I also think you keep using your W kind of unrealistically. Like, I don't think these are ever gonna hit, and it's like quite a lot of mana investment. You really just want to be spending mana on E and Q, unless you like know that the W is gonna get something. Like, yeah, imagine if in this situation you just had like 300 more mana because you've used your spells better. Like, this is a solo kill, no doubt about it. I don't know why this guy's well, he has R. Probably have to flash this. Ooh. I mean, okay, you get the kill, but in my opinion, she played this pretty badly. It looks to me like you're dead here. All she needs to do is wait for this fear bar to fill, and then you die no matter what. So I think you should have died there. She played it badly, so that's lucky for you. You ult the wave. Now, could you have frozen this? Don't have any mana. Let's see the wave. No, the wave's too big. I think you... kind of hard, but I think you sort of have to push it. So you base. Now you're in a really good spot. It's arguable if you should buy pink or boots here. I would actually probably go boots. I think not having a pink sucks, but I think boots get you a lot of value this game against Vex, so I probably would have gone with those instead. But it's like, I wouldn't say it's a huge deal either way. So now you should be really strong over Vex. You know that she, I think she ignited you. Actually, I don't know for sure. Maybe she didn't have it. Now this pink is pretty useless, I would say. So, good pink location. Ideally is like the dot bush in the river. Second most ideal is like in this bush here, because like this does sort of help you against Vi, but I mean, it's way better if you can get it out further, but this gives you so little vision. Like, actually look like what tiny little vision pocket that gave you. It's pretty much useless. So this is good using your spells on him. And you have a lot of mana now, so another sort of poor W, I think. I think if you just spam your E on cooldown on him, it's going to be quite hard for him to lane. Yeah, so without your pink in a good spot here, it's quite scary to push. Because you, like right now, you're pushing with no flash, your jungler not near, and no vision on either side of mid, so your kind of greedy ward is making this very dangerous. So I think, you know, it's, yeah, like you could definitely have died here. Just lucky that the enemy jungler wasn't nearby. Play this. This is all good. Vex goes bot, so you can push us in. Now, here, like, okay, you do ping missing. I think it would be better to drop some back pings, like down here or something, but also I think just your lack of vision kind of leads to this happening. To be honest though, this isn't the end of the world, because Vex is missing a whole wave to do this, but you need to actually punish. So right now, it's like you ward raptors so that Vi doesn't kill you, and then you just hit this mid tower. So another ward that doesn't do anything for you, like Vi can wrap around here, Vi can just come from bot side. Ideally, you place your ward on the same side of your pink so that you can get like full coverage. So again, it's just like really risky. You could die here, and it's just not up to you basically. Like, if Vi punishes well, you die here. If you're lucky, she doesn't. At least you did get the tower plate though. Your Yi popped off. Okay, I'm glad you did this though. Okay, I mean, we see Vi coming through here, but I think that's like super, super lucky. It should have been that you were just like hugging down here, but yeah, anyway. So super lucky that Vi came through there. It was like the one path she could come through where you'd actually see her. But yeah, you punished the roam really well, and you got super far ahead of it. Even though Vex got kills, I would say you're probably ahead. Now here, if you want to do raptors, you need to realize sooner. So whenever you push a wave, right? I've said this before. Whenever you push a wave, you get like one timer or one like window to do something. So right now, when you push that wave, you need to have already decided what that is. So you can base right now or you can do raptors, or you can like pressure the map. You know, there's like a lot of things you can do, right? But you don't decide that you're gonna do raptors until now, it looks like. So you spent a lot of time wasted there. I think basing would have been good. I think raptors could have been good. Like there was loads of things you could have done, but instead you just realized way too late, and now you can't actually farm these. So you wasted that entire window of priority, which is pretty bad, right? Because that was either you base, spend 1,300 gold, and now you're like insanely strong, or you take a camp and then you like base one wave later. But instead you just didn't do anything, so the hesitation really, really hurt you there. Again, I think you kind of don't decide here what you want to do. So this wave is pushed in. Again, I think this probably should be an instant base. But if you did want to farm something, you know, maybe we could look at like the Scuttle Crab or something, or the enemy Raptors. Instead, you just like walk around and looks like you don't do anything for another... Yeah, so you just... Yeah, I mean, literally just standing here. It is good that you're catching this wave further up, because this gives you more time to use your turn. But the problem is that you don't even use your turn anyway. You just sit here and don't pressure anything, and don't get yourself ahead. So pushes in. I'm guessing Vex is roaming bot, but that's completely fine for you. Oh yeah, Vex is bot. Vi, I don't think she can do anything to you. You don't need to be scared of her. She's level 7. I actually think you probably could have looked to W her here, like, or maybe just like back here and then alter. Oh yeah, this is good. I think you should have altered this guy. Like, I'm almost certain you can kill him or get him extremely low. And one thing you should keep in mind is that if you can chunk the enemy jungler off the map, he has to spend time like either basing or like farming camps to heal back up. So it's really big for your team if you can ever chunk out the jungler. But it's better than nothing. This is good. I'm glad you've like at least not done a lot of like roaming on Viktor, because you know roaming on Viktor is pretty awful. So you know, I'm glad you did that. And you've been using your last... Yeah, like, this is really good. You know, you can push this wave really aggressively, catch really far up. You get lots of time with which you can use to, you know, farm or whatever. Okay, now what are you going to use your turn for? Facing. But then you get cancelled by Vex, I guess? Yeah, cancelled by Vex, so I guess you had to stop the base. But like, if you need to just like plan this, I guess, a bit more in advance. There's a lot of times where you just do stuff so slowly, you know? I kind of understand walking all the way back, because Vex has been pretty annoying. You base, you TP, you have item, you're insanely strong now. Looks like this guy just gets solo killed. Cool. So yep, you're catching far up. Here, now, what happened to your ward? I'm curious, where did your ward go? Because you keep being pushed up to the tower. Also, did you buy it? No, okay, so you didn't buy a pink, which you should have, because you're playing really aggressively, so you need more vision. You didn't buy a pink at all. And it also looks like you trolled your ward somewhere here. I'm trying to see where you put it in a sec. Yep, so another completely useless ward. Doesn't save you. This can be way more aggressive. It can be like on the raptors. It can be like here. It can be in this top bush, but it realistically doesn't protect you from anything. Not if you're playing this far up anyway. This is good. Now here, I think this is a bad roam, in my opinion. So, well, I don't know. It's not an awful roam, but I think like, okay, if you stay mid right now, you get this tower because like he's doing Herald. Also, if you go bot, you're just going to make it a 3v3 because your jungler's topside. And you can get so much here. You could probably get Raptors and mid. So it's like, this roam, I'd say, is like, I don't know, you're strong, so you can probably kill them here. But it's also just quite unnecessary, I feel like. It looks like you are going to get a kill. Oh no, that was really bad. So you could have got this kill without flashing for sure. You can just walk up and then max range laser him. But this is super bad overall. Like, you came bot and got 274 gold and lost your flash. And if you had stayed mid, you get the whole tower, 3 plates, so I'm guessing, and the raptors and a wave. I'm guessing you get something like 800 or 900 gold if you just stay mid. And now you're sharing farm with your ADC. So this whole... Yeah, this is so bad. You should really not share farm. Like, you don't want to split XP. You don't want to split gold. This guy's just inting, so again, you get quite lucky with that. But yeah, you should have stayed mid this whole time, I'm pretty sure. And like, even if you do come down to this, it's really important, one, that you don't invest your flash, and two, that you don't stay. Like, right now, it's like, it's not optimal, right? But if you go back mid, it's fine, because you can push this in, you can maybe farm blue or farm raptors or something. But because you just stay around and you split XP and gold with your ADC, it becomes just worse and worse. Like, the longer you share gold and XP with other people as a solo laner, it's super bad, because you can be getting yourself really, really aggressive. I mean, really accelerated, sorry. So, I think you lost a lot of gold from doing this. And yeah, that's really bad. Now, you're going Lich Bane second. To be honest, I think I kind of baited people with my guide a bit. I feel like at the time I thought Lich Bane was going to be better than it is. I think Lich Bane is still quite good, but I think Shadow Flame's a little bit better. Especially if you're the solo AP. I think if you're not the solo AP, there's an argument that Lich Bane is better, but this game you're the only AP on your team. You don't really have any tanks. So I think Shadow Flame would probably be more value, but it's not a... I don't really think it's a big deal. Just maybe a slight optimization in your itemization, but yeah, it's kind of whatever. So you come to blue, this... Oh wait, you didn't get it. Oh, he ordered it. Okay, whatever. Not a huge deal. Come back mid. See what you use your turn for here. Should be a mid tower. Yep, so you're just hitting mid. This is good. You didn't get baited to go to the roam. Now you push in another wave. What do we use our turn for? I don't like this that much. I feel like, okay, if you can eventually knock down this turret, it's good, right? But you should be checking these camps first. Like, okay, this is definitely good, but the camps would be better, so you should be checking if those are up. So wolves are down, but we didn't know that, or at least I didn't know that. Maybe you did. And I don't think you ever checked the raptors, but you should be looking for the extra CS before you commit to autoing it. But obviously, if those are down, then I think autoing it is pretty good. This is all good. So these raptors, oh, okay, they just spawned. So they're actually down as well, but you had no idea, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's just watch this fight. I don't think there's much to it, though. Hook. Oh, good. Now, this stage of the game, you definitely want to go side lane and not share mid lane farms. That's good. Looks like you're pathing bot at a base. You should probably farm the Gromp on the way to lane, I think. Although, maybe not, actually. Let me try and get that out of the way. This is another, I would say, semi-useless ward. So this, like, by the time someone shows here, you're just gonna die, right? The ward above you is actually quite good already, but I think you could either hold your ward or place it further up. Also, yeah, I think taking this tower is good, and then you should probably look for the Krugs after. So take this tower. Yeah, okay, I mean, Vex shows. You're lucky that's not someone stronger than Vex. You should definitely take these Krugs now. So you've pushed away, you're doing a lot of walking around and not doing good things. So yeah, you consistently waste a lot of time. Right here, these Krugs should have been yours, like, quite a long time ago. Keep pushing. Surely we go Krugs, right? So you push this wave, you back off. Again, still don't do the Krugs. Then you end up basing. So Vi gets those Krugs for free, which should not have happened. Stopwatch buy, I think is quite smart. Pathing mid out of base here is good. TPing, don't think it's really necessary, but like TP on Viktor, you don't really need to hold it anyway, so. Kind of trolled this quite a bit, I think. So you get a bit lucky, but okay, so first, when you're playing a champion like Viktor, where you've got all this movement speed and you've got all this range, you can afford to like play on your range, you know? You can move back and forth into people, you can space well, but the problem is, like, with your movement speed and with your E, you're walking so close to them. Like, you can hit your E on someone all the way back here. Instead, you're literally like melee ranging the Vex. Like, okay, right now, you can just like input back a little bit, but again, you're like walking melee range into them, which is why you lose all your health for free here. Definitely need to play on your range quite a bit more. If this were like, you know, if you weren't so fed and if they were more fed, you would have died here. Don't think this guy can kill you. He's super weak. I don't even... What did you flash? Okay, you just flashed for no reason, like he has nothing. Another very, like, bad use of flash. Probably won't matter this game, but normally flash on Viktor or any mobile champion is extremely valuable, so to just waste it for no reason is pretty bad. That guy stole your blue, I think unintentionally. Ooh, close. Now what are you doing here? Why did you not kill this wave? Like, okay, right now, when you get Baron, you normally play 2 waves, because it's sort of hard to pressure 3 at once without one section of the map getting engaged on. Sion's pushing the bot wave, so you're not going to get any farm here, which means you should be taking this mid wave. Instead, you're freezing it, so you can give it to Draven or something. Okay, now you're half pushing it. Okay, I have no idea what you're doing here. You should just kill that wave. So you just denied yourself about 150 gold because of whatever you just did with the wave. Not sure what you were doing with it. Vayne doesn't move while auto-attacking. Kind of cool. Gets killed. Also, because you didn't push that mid wave, it's going to make it really hard for you to pressure anything through mid. It should be that your mid and bot waves crash at similar times, and then you can pressure really hard. But like now you can see this mid wave is here. You can't actually pressure their base. I think on a high level here, you would probably not even do this dragon. You would just pressure with 2 waves in their base, but you know, it's like sort of hard to coordinate with the team. But because you messed up that mid wave, it made it really hard to pressure anything here. So you push mid, you come top. I think this is all good. You can probably chase this guy down. Yeah, there's no way he gets out, right? Oh, he actually does. A pretty good chunk. Okay, no, he did die. You can hit tower. I don't think you need to be scared of anyone here. Now, the only thing here is that when you get this low on mana, you need to be really careful now, because if you waste any more mana, you're not going to be able to take a fight if anyone does. But you have enough mana for like 1, maybe 2 rotations of QEs. So right now, you should not be Eing creeps. Like, you should not be... Yeah, don't do this. So you need to be really aware of your mana. I don't think it's likely that anyone fights you back here, but if you do, you would be pretty much useless. You only have like 1 rotation on a champion that's like built for like extended fights. Although you have a ton of burst as well. It's just a high damage champion overall. So this looks pretty much it. There's no... Yeah, okay. No, there's nothing else. So get up the notepad. So the biggest thing for you is your early game laning phase. So actually, your laning phase and warding. So I'm going to put laning phase and warding / hugging. So definitely like my laning phase video, my warding video will help you a lot. But I think in the laning phase in particular, like using spells on opponent instead of CS, I think you could punish cooldowns, like use spells like when they go for CS. I think your wave control as well, like you could have pushed more. Basically, pretty much everything in the early game was bad. Like you could pressure the lane phase a lot more than you are now. Also, your warding, like your wards were pretty consistently useless. So try and place them a bit further out. Place further out. Like a lot of the time you were greeting them, but you didn't really need to because you had time, right? Like I can understand greeting them if there's like a creep right there that's about to die, but I don't think it was ever the situation. Also think your hugging to vision / jungler could probably improve. Oh yeah, just the random thing to like 2 points E instead of point W at level 3. That'll probably help you as well. You should also think about if you are going to be playing way more aggressive in the laning phase. Generally, you don't want to use your E too much at level 2 until it has 2 points in it, because otherwise it's not that mana efficient. So the way Viktor lanes normally go, level 1, spam Q on cooldown. Level 2, also spam Q on cooldown. Maybe put in like 1 or 2 E's, but like don't overdo it. Basically, you don't want to run out of mana. And then at level 3, they're kind of at the point where they're using Q and E on cooldown just to like move your opponent out of lane. Especially if like the Airy Scorch Corrupting Pop build, like you're definitely going to be able to kill people or at least force them to base. So the early game could have been way better. I think your your prior usage was super bad. So every time you push a wave, and this actually went for the mid game as well, like plan something. So you get 1 turn to do something whenever you get prior over mid, and consistently you just like did nothing, or you did something so late that you couldn't do something. So yeah, for you, the early game was definitely the biggest. There was a couple things in the mid game. I think your spacing wasn't the best, and maybe like, well, no, I can't really say it off this game, but definitely your spacing. So there's times where like when you're playing melee range, Viktor doesn't really need to be the case. You can play on your range. I think also, oh, there was actually that time in the early game. Okay, so it's like with the early game and the mid game. There's a time in the early game where you roamed bot and shared XP and gold. Like sharing XP and gold is very bad. You don't ever want to do that unless you're like grouping for dragon and it's spawning like 30 seconds or something, or you're like pressuring with baron. Otherwise, like you pretty much never want to share XP and gold with other people if you're playing a solo lane champion, unless you're like maybe a more supportive champion. Like if you're playing Karma or something, it's less bad, right? But if you're sharing XP and gold as Viktor, that's just like don't do this unless it's like really important. I think also farm camps in the mid game a lot more. I remember there was like a Grump you walked past, there was a Krugs that you didn't farm for a long time. It was kind of unlucky. I think both your blue buffs got sniped, but yeah, for the most part, I'd say this was pretty much it. Really, you have a lot to work on in the early game, and that'll make you like carry games a lot more. I can't say too much about your team fighting because like you were just so ahead, and we just didn't see that many team fights to work on. So what to work on? I think for you, laning phase definitely the biggest thing. I really recommend watching my laning video and paying close attention to that if you haven't already. But yeah, I think the biggest thing will just start by using your spells on opponent. I think you should try like practice with a rule of not using cooldowns on the wave. So literally just like there are times where it's actually good to use like your cooldowns on the wave, right? But I think you should just, to get out of the bad habit, you should just practice like never using your spells on the wave and just always using them on your opponent. I think you'll be surprised at how much better your lane phase gets pretty much instantly. I think also you should think about like so you should think about cooldowns a lot, like how long the important cooldowns are. So like for example in this lane, the important cooldowns you got like Vex's Fear, which I think is 22 seconds, Vex's E, which again is like, I don't actually know this one for sure, but I think it's about 13 seconds. And you've got shorter cooldowns than that. Like there's lots of times where she used E and you used Q, which should mean that your Q is back up before her E, so you can go for another trade. Looking to punish those. Yeah, I think these are the biggest things for you. Also, I'd say your prior usage as well. So really focus on planning like what you're going to use your turn for after you push a wave. I think like, okay, the rest of the stuff is definitely important to work on. We've got like the hugging. Oh, no, I better put in the hugging. So I'm just going to put the warding, like place your wards further out, basically. The hugging, it wasn't a big deal. I think if you do all these things, it'll make your laning phase a lot better. These three things are going to let you, no, these two things are going to let you punish your lane a lot more. This is going to help accelerate you when you actually do have your lead in the lane, and placing your wards further out is going to make you a bit more protected against the jungle gang. So again, if you have any questions, just let me know, but hopefully it was helpful for you. And I think again, yeah, if you fix these, you should see a really big improvement in a relatively short time. If you're not sure how to implement any of them, let me know. And yeah, finally, just definitely check out the laning video. I think it'd be very helpful for you. Anyway, good luck, man. I hope it goes well.